Dimensions of Diversity, Spirit Airlines.
Hello everyone, my name is Ariana Garfias. I'm gonna be talking about Spirit Airlines overview. So, Spirit Airlines' purpose is to deliver the best value in the sky and be the most successful airline on Earth. Spirit Airlines' strategic leadership involves revolutionary thinking, creating a vision, recognizing if current conditions are not corrected, they will have a significant impact on the competitiveness with respect to roads, services, and fees. Spirit Airlines' scope of operations consists of monitoring aircraft by the Air Traffic Management System, ensuring activities comply with federal, state, and local regulations, and maximizing asset utilization and non-ticket revenues per passenger to reduce base fares and stimulate passenger demand that most airlines cannot serve profitably. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Savannah Green, and I will be going over the gender dimension of diversity within Spirit Airlines. So, the Spirit Airlines Charitable Foundation states, "Be yourself. We want team members to feel empowered to bring their whole self to work and contribute to our success. That's why we're committed to building progress in the areas of diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging." But according to an article from change.org, Spirit Airlines unapologetically released an offensive new advertising campaign that managed to simultaneously exploit women and the biggest environmental disaster in North America history. So a recommendation to improve this policy of gender would be to limit gender differences and imbalances. For example, Spirit Airlines could remove any obscene marketing or ads that provoke gender discrimination, creating a system that goes through multiple quality control stages and undergoes continuous monitoring so that the end result is appropriate for all genders.
Good afternoon. My name is Kyle McAndrew, and today I'd like to speak on Spirit Airlines' relationship to ages within their company. Spirit Airlines aims to provide career paths for all different backgrounds of people, ultimately. Much of the organization has employees interacting directly with consumers and customers that come from a wide variety of international cultures, being that they are an international supplied company. Ultimately, Spirit aims to provide a career path and a home for all types of people and all backgrounds of people. The policies and practices that relate to their age factoring within the company is the Human Rights Policy of Spirit is a well-defined and straightforward document that all employees receive upon initial interviewing and hiring. In particular, the diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging heading within the document corresponds well to the policies and practices referred. This is in correspondence with most other companies and organizations and their policy regarding diversity and inclusion, so it is a pretty standard procedure in correspondence with other companies. These policies must be neutral in nature, eliminating opinion and any potential for the interpretation of discrimination. In correspondence, I'm now going into a section that involves the bias that can potentially take place within these policies of Spirit. There was an issue regarding a lawsuit filed around 8 years ago involving Spirit Airlines and employee layoffs. The lawsuit accused the airline of age discrimination because the laid-off employees were all above the age of 50. A federal judge later went on to dismiss the claim in court, giving the decision in favor of Spirit Airlines and their onboarding and exit operations. So in essence, there was a case that was perceived to be potentially discriminative, and it was then dismissed in federal court. So in correspondence to that concept, the Association of Flight Attendants has created an agreement with Spirit Airlines and the flight attendants of Spirit Airlines. This essentially is a job instruction overview document that, more importantly, specifies the policies and procedures in place to prevent wrongdoing or mistreatment while in the workplace. The section that addresses age most directly is Section 6 within this document, titled Seniority and Probation. This provides detail and insight into age-based and seniority experience-based practices, benefits, and compensations that are a part of being an employee within the company of Spirit Airlines. This is the most direct information amidst Spirit's policies containing ages or years in the workplace, so a direct reference to age. For recommendations, potentially implementing a policy that gives current employees paths into different departments would be a viable option. This would create pathways to expand careers and ultimately retain the current employees that are instrumental in the success of Spirit. The actions involved would be human resources and operations executives or managers collaborating to see where there are spaces in the company that need more employment to ultimately create better optimization, while truly promoting the non-discriminatory longevity of Spirit's employees, the people who truly make up their infrastructure. These recommendations would be feasible and a sufficient solution to preventing discrimination cases like the one mentioned above, and also from happening in the first place or even occurring initially. It is also an incredibly classy gesture to honor, 20 or 30 plus years of service for a company like many of these seniority level employees have put in. Thank you for listening.
Hi, my name is Jacob Rowley, and I'll be going over the race segment here at Spirit Airlines. So first off, under the human rights policy statement of Spirit Airlines, it states that the company does not tolerate discrimination or harassment based on race. As a company, we value diversity, equity, inclusion, and belonging, a sense of belonging. Equal employment opportunity is a huge factor for our company as well, and we want to maintain that inclusion and positive work environment, and harassment and discrimination in the workplace regarding race and other things is protected by the applicable law. Anti-harassment is a huge factor of Spirit Airlines as a whole, within our team and our company, and our employees go through training to be able to de-escalate these situations and act with the proper level of resolution when it comes to a situation like this. When it comes to working with other companies, we make sure that their policies and practices align with ours in the same way. When it comes to the code of ethics and business conduct, and obviously we want to teach our own team members and customers to act in line with that as well, with these policies. So we try to keep that consistent all across the board when it comes to race and our ethics and responsibilities as a company. And whenever this is violated or there's a potential violation, we make sure that the proper steps are carried out to solve these issues, and make sure that people are aware and trained in the proper manner before those things can actually have the chance to occur. There was a lawsuit filed in November 2022 from Blackmon versus Spirit Airlines is the name of the case, because it violated Title VI of the Civil Rights Act and the Florida Civil Rights Act of 1992. The lawsuit basically premises around Spirit Airlines racial discrimination because of wrongful determination. Blackmon was an African American, and she was terminated due to her weight and size, but it came down to it, there was another Caucasian flight attendant who suffered from the same weight and size issues that didn't allow her to fit in a jump seat either. However, the Caucasian flight attendant was able to have extra time given to her to lose weight and get in shape to be able to fit into that jump seat. Mrs. Blackmon was not treated in a similar manner, and she wasn't given that same opportunity or time or amount of time to lose the weight in order to fit into that seat. And she wasn't given that same opportunity or time or amount of time to lose the weight in order to fit into that seat. And, obviously, we want to teach our own team members and customers to act in line with ours in the same way. When it comes to working with other companies, we make sure that the policies and practices align with ours in the same way. she was terminated shortly after. They did give her a month to lose weight, but it wasn't really reasonable compared to what they did to the Caucasian flight attendant, and that resulted in her termination. So that's still currently an open case and has not reached a solution. As I stated, that was filed in November 22. It is now April 2023, so that's not resolved yet. But that is an example of a live racial discrimination and wrongdoing within Spirit Airlines as a company. So, but as I stated, it all goes back to the policies and practices regarding race. The company does not tolerate it, harassment or discrimination based on race, and by any means. And they have certain policies and code of ethics and conduct in place already to prevent this. And because of the past occurrences, they have made those changes, and those policies do reflect currently appropriately.
Hi, my name is Karina, and I will be presenting recommendations to improve policies for race. One feasible practice to improve the experience and inclusion of race is abiding by and following proper procedures in handling certain situations. For instance, Spirit Airlines is an equal employment opportunity employer and should treat everyone fairly. They should not be subjected to each individual by giving another employee different opportunities than others. Now, in order to practice and challenge unfair treatment by others, the organization should provide training so that employees are aware and have an understanding of what stereotypes are and biases. If more employees are aware of how to identify unfair treatment, it can be avoided and or be taken care of as quickly as possible to address the problem in the future. If more employees are aware of differential treatment, then there can be a more positive experience and environment, as well as diversity and inclusion. For this diversity dimension, race, other than training and development, other human resources programs should be monitored, such as recruitment and internal analysis. In cases such as this, there should be a diversity when hiring applicants, having a diverse team member who are part of the recruitment. This will give an opportunity for more solutions to situations and a better hiring selection, as well as less of a likelihood to discriminate against others. For human resources, having figures and keeping track of the hires and terminations and compensations and promotions gives the company a better idea and evidence that there is treatment discrimination and the procedures that should be taking place. In Blackman, it was one of the few cases where racial discrimination occurred and led to termination. Having human resources track cases like this can improve their handbook, and training would be revisited to improvise and develop equal treatment and disregard racial discrimination. This can help establish Spirit Airlines' mission statement. It can also have a positive experience both as a customer and an employee, and create diversity and inclusion within the company.